So, is Johnny Depp completely mad? Or is he just his estate agent? Johnny Depp owns a village come Hamlet down in the south of France, about 25 kilometres north of Saint-Tropez, which has been on the market since 2015 for completely mad prices.
Naughty.
So who is mad? Depp or the agents?
Never fear truth.
Let's look into it. So often on this sort of thing, the best thing to start with a bit of background. Well, you all know Johnny Depp, or at least I think you would. You either love him or you hate him. Me personally, I'm a bit of a Jack Sparrow fan myself. He, like many other actors, has had his ins and outs with the female of the species. But I promise we're not going to be talking about Amber Heard here. No, we are more interested in the time he spent with Vanessa Paradis, the French singer. Vanessa Paradis came into the limelight in 1987 when she sung a song called Joe Le Taxi at the ripe old age of 14 years old.
Joe Le Taxi, c'est sa vie.
She then went on to make plenty of other songs, but that one seems to have marked the history for many people. Her and Johnny Depp spent 14 years together and actually had 2 children, Lily Rose and Jack. And during their time together, Johnny actually bought himself a small village in the countryside of the Var department, right down on the southern Mediterranean coast, 25 kilometres north of Saint-Tropez, which is basically the French summer camp for all the rich and famous. If you want to have a look at the village on Google Maps, look for the commune of La Plaine de la Tour. Then if you look northeast of the village, look for a Google tag saying La Village de Glen Lance. Glen Lance, if you didn't know, was actual Johnny Depp's character in A Nightmare on Elm Street back in 1984. So here we have a small hamlet set in the foothills of La Plaine de la Tour. He bought the village for the modest sum of 8.2 million. He then went on to spend another 10 million on it, actually renovating it and furnishing it. He transformed the hamlet into his idea of a French country village. If you ask me, it looks more Mexican than anything else. He actually added a French bistro-style restaurant to the property, so to actually use the dining room for him and his guests, as well as obviously a professional-style kitchen. There is actually a wine cellar, but it's been turned into a guest suite with a very Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it. There is even a blanchisserie, which in French means a laundry, but I mean the high street type laundry you go to. A former chapel has actually been transformed into another guest suite, and there is also a large gypsy caravan as another guest suite. There are also 2 swimming pools, a large garage, a painting studio, a skate park, a hunter's cabin, a private gym, a children's playroom, and all that for a total of 15 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. The property has been on the market since 2015 and still hasn't sold, especially the last couple of years. I think even in that price bracket, if places haven't sold, there's only one thing wrong, and that is the price. Back in 2015, initially Johnny Depp put the property on the market for 23 million euros. It was then very quickly taken off the market and put back on by an international agency at the price of $63 million, or 55 million euros if you wish. Currently, it's hard to say what price it's on because there's different reports giving different figures, anywhere between 35 and 45 million euros basically. So, is Johnny mad, or is it the agents? Let's do a basic calculation.
Come to negotiate, eh? Have you slimy git?
From the articles, apparently there is 1,200 metres square of livable space. Local price data gives us the top end bracket for prices of 8,100 euros per metre square, which is pretty high for the countryside, but admittedly we are down near Saint-Tropez. So basic maths, 1,200 metres square multiplied by 8,100 euros gives us 9.72 million euros. But there is also the 15 hectares of land, including olive groves, vineyards and centennial oaks to take into account, as well as the numerous outbuildings as well. We also need to take into account that the property is being sold fully furnished. The story goes that Johnny Depp actually chose all the furniture himself, which I imagine it won't be IKEA furniture, but then again I'm not sure that Johnny Depp's tastes are those of most people's. So is Johnny mad, or is it the agents? Well, he bought the property for 8.2 million. He then spent 10 million on it, and he initially put it on the books for 23 million. It's only once the prestige agents got involved that the price went sky high. and it hasn't sold since. So no, Johnny Depp isn't mad. Well, maybe a bit, but that's why we like him.
Yeah, a bit dark, a bit confusing.
But if he'd actually stayed with his gut feeling, instead of listening to the so-called international agents, the property would still be sold. But those prestige agents came in and they got into the old mine's bigger than yours argument, and still the property sits there unsold. So what's the moral of this story? The moral of this story is it doesn't matter how big or important the agency is, just make sure they can actually justify their price appraisal to you. And if you got this far into the video, please stick that old like, subscribe and bell buttons down there for me. And if you are interested in buying a prestige property in France in 2024, you might want to watch this video here. See you soon.